2016, a 25-year-old Wall Street banker named Matt was camping near Mount Rainier in Washington State. On the first night, he found a nice clearing in the trees, and so he set up his campsite there. Several hours later, Matt woke up to some strange sounds coming from outside of his tent. Barely unzipped his tent flap, there was a man sitting in front of his fire pit, and this man all of a sudden looks up directly at Matt and makes eye contact with him, and the guy's eyes go wide, and he stands up, turns around, and runs away from Matt's campsite. And so he just quickly unzips his tent, jumps outside, and shines his light into the forest, and he's just left kind of dumbfounded. Finally, the sun came up again, he packed up his campsite, and he began hiking into the forest. And over the next 2 days, he covered at least 10, maybe 15 miles. He found a nice clearing, and he set up another campsite. That night, he set up a fire, and then as he's sitting there, he hears rustling coming from behind him. He hears a man's voice come out of the darkness.
Do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon?
He knows that even though he can't see him, it has to be the same guy he saw 2 days ago. And so Matt, not knowing what else to do, just says, I don't know where Bell's Canyon is. The voice from the shadows does not come any closer, but instead asks the same question, a bit more forcefully this time.
Do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon?
He reached down and grabbed his flashlight and shined it, and what he saw was this guy from 2 days ago looking out from behind a tree, and then the silence was broken yet again by this voice.
Do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon?
His voice was so close to Matt that Matt got scared and raised his light up, and the man was standing just a few feet away from him. And this time, the man's eyes got wide, and he turned around and he ran into the forest again. And so Matt just grabbed his knife and stood in the middle of the campsite. By about 3 in the morning, Matt was so tired that he had to go to sleep. When the sun came up, Matt jumped out of his tent, packed up his stuff, and began practically running in the direction of his car. And then the sun started to go down, and Matt knew he would have to camp out again. But several hours later, he woke up to the sound of somebody walking around his tent, and he knew it had to be this guy. He clutched his knife all night. This guy just walked around his campsite, and then around 4 or 5 in the morning, he scampered off. When the sun finally came up, Matt leapt out of his tent, packed up his stuff, and literally just began running in the direction of his car. And unfortunately, as the sun was setting, he knew he was not going to be able to make it to his car. He had to find a clearing and set up his tent again. And then, as he's laying there from somewhere out in the woods,
do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon?
And then this guy began running past his campsite, making animal sounds, until the sun finally came up, and this guy scampered off back into the woods. Matt didn't waste any time. He leapt out of his tent, packed his stuff up, and ran all the way back to his car. When he finally got inside of his car, he cried tears of joy. He finally flew back to New York, and he just had to accept that there was some strange guy who was able to hunt him over 3 days and 30 miles without the use of a flashlight, without any gear, and all he ever said to Matt was,
do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon?